You're watching the Space Podcast Network. I am your producer, Alex Henshaw. In this episode, Mike Cameron sits down with Michelle Macmillan Turner and has a conversation around the theme of living it forward.
Hey, welcome back to the Joy and Resilience Practice Podcast. We're here with our season finale for season 2. Today's title is Living It Forward. The Joy and Resilience Practice, helping you thrive one story at a time. Rooted in joy, rising in resilience. I'm Mike Cameron, and today we've arrived at the final episode of season 2. Over the past 8 conversations, we've explored grief, food, connection, pressure, boundaries, rest, joy, identity. And through each conversation, one truth keeps coming back. Resilience isn't something we achieve. It's something we practice every day in ordinary moments. Today's episode isn't really about wrapping things up. It's asking one final question. How do we take everything we've learned and actually live it? Because knowledge is important, but practice changes us. Let's face it. Most of us already know we should drink more water. Would you agree, Michelle?
Absolutely.
Get more sleep, move our bodies, set boundaries. The challenge isn't usually knowing, it's remembering, especially on a Tuesday afternoon when life gets busy. Today is about living it forward. Let's get into it. So here's Mike's reflection for today. And that's me, by the way. Before introducing today's guest, I've been thinking about what this season has meant to me. Each conversation has reminded me that resilience isn't one big decision. It's hundreds of small ones. Choosing to call a friend, taking a walk, saying no, making a meal, remembering someone we love, laughing, resting, trying again tomorrow. Those moments don't usually make headlines, but they quietly shape our lives. Maybe resilience has never been about extraordinary people. Maybe it's always been about ordinary people, choosing to keep showing up with courage and compassion. Today, I'm joined by a guest I'm super excited to have on here, a good friend of mine, Michelle Macmillan Turner, someone whose story reminds us that resilience isn't a destination, it's a lifelong practice. Together, we're reflecting on what it means to live these ideas long after the conversation ends. Michelle Macmillan Turner, welcome to the podcast. Hello, how you doing?
Thank you so much. That actually makes me a little emotional.
Oh, really?
What a beautiful intro. I love all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I've been practicing that. And again, like you and I chatted before that, when the topic came up, I'm like, yeah, that's who I want to ask.
Because that was my first question. Why are you thinking about me for this one?
I'm totally thinking that you fit this.
Yeah.
So Michelle, for those that don't know you, do you want to do a little intro about yourself or tell us what
sure.
you would like to share?
Sure. I guess in this context, I would say that I am a retired teacher. Wow. I taught for 32 years.
And how many years now have you been retired?
I've been out for 4.5.
It's been 4.5?
I know, time flies.
Wow.
But you're having fun. I'm careful when I say the word retired because I haven't stopped.
Yeah,
not as a badge of honor, and I do want to talk about this today.
Yeah.
But I just feel like we move from chapter to chapter. So I spent 32 years teaching, and now I'm in a different chapter, and I'm doing some different things. So I am teaching part-time at the Mount.
Oh, yes.
So I teach teachers in training, secondary language arts methods.
Right, yes.
Lifelong English and art and drama and design and social studies teacher. But English was always my anchor.
At the banks, yes.
So that's what I'm doing in my retirement.
Yes.
I'm also a fitness and yoga enthusiast. And
Yeah.
I don't think you know this, Mike, but 1 month ago, I officially retired from teaching fitness and yoga.
What? You've had a second retirement?
I know.
I didn't know
It's
that.
quite monumental.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Let's start there. How come?
Okay.
What was going on?
Okay, well, this might be a story.
Okay, good. Go for it.
You know this. I love teaching fitness and,
Yes, you do.
and yoga. I love it, and I loved it right up until the last moment.
Right.
I joined a gym in 93, and I have not missed a single week of going to the gym since 1993. So I was a member and a
Lifelong.
participant almost as long as I was an instructor. And so I
Right.
became an instructor. I was a member at Good Life, and then they hired me as an instructor. A little shout out to Good Life. I've loved working with them. But it started to dawn on me. I think what happened was, tell me if I'm talking too much.
No. You're on a podcast talk.
I know, it's true. This is true. So early in this calendar year, I started realizing that I was missing reading a lot because I'm an English major
Yes.
and I teach language arts and English, still do at the Mount, and I love books. And I was noticing that I was reading significantly less since I retired than I was when I was teaching.
So when you're saying reading, what do you
Reading
mean,
novels.
Novels. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah.
Because I used to read with my classes. It was
Right.
kind of an anchor in my classes.
Embedded, yes.
Yes. Very, very important to me. So, and I started noticing why, and I always have a book on the go. I have for my whole entire
Right,
life.
okay.
But I started noticing that I wasn't reading
No
as much
books.
because I was only reading at night before I was about to go to sleep.
Sleep.
And so it would take me a really long time to read a book. And so during the days, I was in my car all the time and racing off to teach my classes. And so I thought, you know what I'm going to do when I get up in the morning? Instead of this mindless scrolling we do on our phone,
Right.
I'm going to sit and read my book every morning for an hour at least.
Oh, for an hour.
And
Okay.
it liberated my life.
Wow.
It really did. And so it started, and I wasn't thinking about shedding anything at that
Yeah.
time, but I started realizing, like, this ongoing question we have with ourselves about how we want to spend our time.
How we want to spend our time. Yes.
And I thought, I bought a new car in October. I had already put 18,000 kilometers on my new car because
This
of
is in your
all these-
retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bonkers.
Okay.
And the classes that I teach, or I taught, it was Good Life has a brand of classes, and it's really, really amazing, this
Right.
brand of classes. Les Mills, if anyone listening happens to go to Good
Wanna
Life.
go
And
there, yeah.
Anyway. But they send you all the material, and we just learn it, so we have to memorize it. So
Okay.
it takes an exorbitant amount of time to learn
it
and
all down
prepare
pat.
and get it all in there, and then also deliver once you're teaching. And I
Mm-hmm.
loved every second of it. But I used to tell people, for every hour that I teach, I've spent 4 hours that day on that class between reviewing my choreography, driving into the city,
Oh, the driving. Right.
teaching my class. I made incredible connections with people there, which I also want to talk more about today.
And you would have a lot of follow-up around the class too, wouldn't you? Or
Yes.
Keeping people in? or-
My class finished at 1, and it wasn't unusual for me. It would be 2 o'clock, and I'm just driving home, right?
Right.
And then I have to drive all the way home. So that's at least 4 hours every day. And I thought, this is my whole
How do I
day.
wanna spend my time?
How do
Yeah.
I want to spend my time?
Yeah.
So that's one example of several things that
Right.
started
Yeah.
happening in my life. And I
Yeah.
started thinking, I think I want to do some different things with my
you-
time. So I'm not retiring necessarily. I'm just
Shifting.
shifting into a new chapter.
Oh my God! I didn't know I was going to get that information today.
I know.
That's great.
I'm kind of moving away from social media
Yeah.
for lots of reasons.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about.
Oh, we have
today.
lots to talk about that. Yeah, the social media piece.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a great way to get into a couple of the prompts I want to ask about.
Sure.
And it sounds like you've talked about small choices becoming a meaningful habit. That's what
Yes,
you
indeed.
hit. That's really the one I was going to bring up. And you're like, you've talked about first thing in the morning, you're reading, and that was part of the decision making that helped prompt the change of where you're spending your time.
Yeah. Without even being conscious of it. But I feel like your energy and your subconscious kind of knows what we need, and it's just our job to listen to it.
listen to
And
it.
that's not easy. I'm not pretending that's easy.
Yes.
But these little pebbles start coming at you. Like, I bought this beautiful new patio set out on my back deck.
Yes.
And sitting in this comfy chair, and we've become really old because now we're bird watchers. They say that's the sign.
That's one of the things. Yeah.
Anyway, we start watching all and listening to the beautiful bird and the cardinals. I now know what a cardinal
Oh, the
sounds
cardinals, yes.
like. As
That's
you know,
actually the bird of the podcast.
I
That's
know.
the red cardinal, yes.
I know, it's a sign.
Yes, it's a sign.
So like all these things started I gave up one of my classes I was teaching for Halifax Rec out
Yes.
in the Bay, and I loved this class, but I was like, I keep finding myself not wanting to leave when I have to go. Like,
Okay.
listen to that, Michelle.
You were listening to it. Did it take you, was that a long transition?
Yeah.
Where you're collecting, like,
Yep.
it was just popping up more
Yeah.
often?
I mean, I'm always listening,
Yeah.
I think, to what's going on. And that can be a huge challenge for people because we are programmed to be busy,
Programmed.
busy, 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 busy. It's like a badge of honor. I
Yes.
mentioned that a few minutes ago.
Yep. Got to be the martyr.
So to just
Yep.
like get quiet and listen is really hard.
Do you think that was sharpened by your yoga
Oh, yeah.
enthusiasm and
Oh, yeah.
meditative practices too?
Absolutely. I mean, essentially all I'm doing is teaching people how to breathe.
Right. And that's important.
And you feel this magical energy. I have this, I often would have people come up to me after yoga class in tears for different reasons, like stuff that maybe a song brought out
Right,
or a move
yes.
brought out or
Had the release.
that release.
That
Yeah. And
release,
I remember this one sweet lady who became my friend, and she's like, "Thank you for teaching me how to breathe." Like, what? We need lessons on how to breathe, but we really do.
We really do, especially in the times we live in now.
100%.
So it makes me want to ask some of the other questions I had prepped for you. You've talked about what habits have changed your life. That was one of the questions. You've already answered that for
You're
me.
welcome.
So that's one of them. So you already did that part. So what does that take you to the step of what does thriving mean to you today? What's thriving look like for Michelle Macmillan Turner?
It's about honoring who you are and honoring that process of always trying to figure out who you are. I was thinking about this on the drive up here, actually. I was thinking about how there's a lot of pressure, and as teachers, we kind of preach this, figuring out who you are, who do you want to be,
Right.
what do you look like? But I think a more important question, or equally important question,
Yes.
is how do you want to be
How do you want
in
to
the
be?
world?
Yeah.
And so I think that's always like on the back burner, like thinking about how do I want to be? What do I want my life to look like? And sometimes you're hearing it
Yes.
and it's easy to ignore it, but it gets in there, and all of a sudden one day you'll have this kind of reckoning, like, okay, that's why
That's
I
what I
did
mean.
that. That's why I let that go. That's
Yes.
why I had that conversation. That's why, whatever.
Right.
It all starts to gel if you just listen.
Well, and you're hitting on, Jeanette talked about this in the last episode, that we talked about that you're not always your titles. Like, that's always our point
Oh
of
my gosh,
reference. It is our
yes.
point of reference.
Yes.
Because most people have a career, do something.
Yeah, how do you do? What do you do?
What
It's
do
the
you
first
do with
question.
something, right? Instead of, is what you do make you happy? Are you happy? If someone asks you that question, I don't know if people ask people that question.
No, it almost seems like an intrusion, sadly.
Are you happy, Michelle? Because to me, listening to you talk about the changes you've gone through, you sound happy. You're smiling when you're telling me this.
Yeah.
Whereas, yes, you're a teacher of yoga and fitness and a teacher in a classroom. But I know many of the students, I worked as an EA in your classroom at times, and I know it wasn't just your ability to teach. It was your rapport and connection with students and other staff. That's why you had such people want to be in your classes. They enjoyed being in your presence. And you talked about, as teachers, we would ask, who are you? What are you going to be? And that sort of thing. And to think about in some ways, well, sometimes you're teaching children, teenagers, 14, 15. Some people do. I'm going to say some people do. You can have some examples. But does everyone at 14 and 15 know what you're going to be at our age?
No.
Maybe that's too much pressure. I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because that's one of the anchors in the course that I teach at the Mount, because I'm teaching future teachers. And and I'm teaching language arts, and I often say to them, you know what, the work that I'm giving you to do, and I sometimes give them work to do that I've given my own students, just so that they can get inside that
Right, the
activity
whole
and
thing,
figure
yes.
out what it is they're looking for and
Yeah.
that they're asking students to express. And I'm passionate about this stuff. I love this stuff. That's why I'm teaching this course.
Right.
But I often remind them, at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters. None of it matters. It's about the connections and the relationships that you make with kids.
Yeah. Well,
So I appreciate you saying that,
Well,
that you
and-
noticed that all those years ago.
oh yeah. Well,
That's-
I can tell that, and we have the common person. Yes, Mike B is going to get another shout out on my podcast because you know him quite well too. But
Yeah.
I can think of over the years since being involved with the drama when you were running it, we have stories from 30 years ago,
Yep.
28 years ago.
Yep.
That if the three of us are around each other and you say,
right there.
you know, anything from pot de shaw or lick a sandwich or where's Bill or, you know, the automatic, and it's always joyful, and it doesn't matter anywhere I'm at, that story can still be just as funny.
Yes.
And it's a moment of joy that brings back, because all of a sudden,
Yes.
you know how Mike B can be, all of a sudden I get a dancing cat, pot de shaw.
Yeah.
And like for that few seconds in the morning, I'm chuckling.
That's right.
Right? Or when we might send a message, I don't want to say that word we usually say, but yeah,
To watch our
BASD.
words.
Yeah. That sort of thing, again, that's a connection thing. And I think even last summer when we got together in Halifax, we talked about like, geez, I haven't seen you in person in a while, but I don't feel like I
No.
haven't seen you in
No
person
time
in a while.
has gone by.
Right? It's
It's about the connection.
connection. Yeah. It's
Yes.
the connection.
Yes, that's so important to me. If I could just share
Sure,
this
go for it.
little story.
Go for it.
This is a story I sometimes share with my Mount students, and sometimes I can't share it because it's sort of a vulnerable story until the last day. So I had this friend of mine. She was a teacher, and she passed away, and it was a really tragic, sad situation
Struggle?
when she passed away.
Yes.
But before she passed away, there was this group of friends with the four of us, and we all went to NASCAD together. We were all teaching. This
Okay.
was like our second master's or whatever. And so we had this bond around art.
Okay. A
And
common spot.
when to back up a little bit, as you know, I have lots of tattoos. My very
Mm-hmm.
first tattoo, she was with me. Her name is Paula. Some listeners may know who I'm talking about because her
Mm-hmm. Right.
name has become pretty well known.
Yes.
She came with me to get my first tattoo, Tattoo Tuesday. And I had chosen a dragonfly on my back as my first tattoo. So when she passed away, all these dragonflies kept showing up.
Really?
And I had also done this little project at NASCAD. And part of it was around the image of the dragonfly. And if you do a little bit of digging, if people believe this, it can
Right.
have some spiritual significance, like a cardinal does.
yes.
So whenever I see a cardinal, see a dragonfly, I always assume it's my friend Paula.
Yeah.
So anyway, she passed away. It was really, really tough time, and the group of friends all rallied together and put a lot of her artwork together. And the day she passed away, I had been doing a drawing for her.
Okay. Yes,
Because
really
when
nice.
we went to NASCAD together, she was pregnant. And she had asked all of us, because we had taken a drawing class together.
Right.
And she said, okay, you guys know that one of you are going to have to do a portrait of the baby. We're like, oh my God, Paula, that's a lot of
baby,
pressure.
yeah.
So I find no one was stepping up. So I said, okay, fine, I will do
it.
I'll do the portrait. And I procrastinated and procrastinated. Again, there's lots of pressure.
Yes.
And the baby was a year old, and I said, okay, Michelle, get it together.
Let's go do
You don't
this.
have time to go to the art store to get a beautiful piece of paper. Just
Right.
find what you have. And I sat down, and I had drawn most of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the day she passed away, sadly. And there was a little I added a little dragonfly motif I
Into the
finished it.
baby?
It was
Yes.
part of my healing during that week when we were putting together the memorial, and we
Yes,
put a
that's
lot of her
awesome.
artwork together
Yeah, that's
and so on.
beautiful.
So I included a little dragonfly motif. Anyway, fast forward several years.
Yes.
Paula's amazing sister has done an incredible job keeping her memory alive, talking about domestic violence.
Right.
So she was a victim of domestic violence.
Yes.
And wrote a book about Paula probably a year and a half ago.
Right.
And I had seen a post on Facebook, and it was a picture promoting this book, and there was a picture
Yes.
of Paula there, and it always stops me in my tracks.
Yes.
And there was a picture of the back of the book, and there was a little dragonfly on the back of the book. So I wrote a little comment, and I don't comment very often
Right.
on...
Yes.
And so I wrote, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if you remember me. I did the artwork for Paula. I was Paula's friend. I noticed you put a dragonfly. And
dragonfly.
very briefly, I told her the story of the connection with the dragonfly with Paula.
Yes.
Anyway, one of my former students saw my comment and messaged me. She said, I don't know if you remember me.
Boy.
I had assigned this, I don't know, scrapbook or something,
Right.
and each page had a different theme, and I don't know, I've had millions of projects, so I
Right,
don't
yeah.
remember exactly what it was, but one of the pages must have been something like, write about someone that meant a lot to you or played a
Okay,
significant
yeah.
role in your life,
Uh-huh.
and she wrote about Paula.
Oh my God.
So she sent me a picture of this 2-page spread of this project she did for
She had
me
done.
with a picture of Paula, and I could see my little comment. I had written a little sticky on it.
The teacher handbook.
And,
Yep.
and again, I don't really have any memory of this.
Yes.
And she was a sweet, quiet student. And as soon as she reached out, I remembered her. But
Yeah, of course.
I probably wouldn't otherwise, like,
Right.
because we've seen thousands.
You've got lots,
right.
yes.
And I was like, oh my God, of course I remember you. And she said, when we were working in class on this project,
Yes.
you were walking by and you saw that I was writing about Paula. And so we stopped and we had this conversation, and you told me your connection and about the dragonflies.
Yes.
And you told me about this moment that you had where time stood still.
Oh my
And I was
Lord.
like, what was I talking about?
Yeah,
and I
what's
was
going
probably talking about the moment in the morning when I picked up the paper and saw that Paula had died, and I
Passed.
had her drawing on
You were
the
working
table.
on it. Yeah.
And although I don't remember using those words, that must have been
And
the
what
moment.
resonated. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, she, just went on to say, thank you so much for, we made that connection.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she had written a letter to Paula's daughter, who would have been a 1-year-old baby at the time.
Yeah.
And the husband replied.
Oh,
And so
yes.
she was very unnerved about this, because he's in jail now. And I said, Sam, you've got to burn that letter. Like, that's really bad energy.
Yes.
I don't remember saying this, but it's totally something I'd say.
It's in
you know
your-
me,
in your
right?
wheelhouse, yes.
Right. Anyway, my point for this long, convoluted story is we have no idea the impact that we make on kids. Like,
Yep.
that conversation, she's now probably in her mid-30s.
Right.
And she still has it. And there's my little comments
Yep.
on my notes. And that conversation that we had that I don't really remember. I
It's
remember the project,
Right.
and I remember her once she reminded me, but we have no idea of
Right.
the
It was still
impact.
present
Yeah.
and impactful for her.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's about the connections that we make with people.
Yep. How do you want to be remembered?
And
How
I
do you want
say
to
that to my students all the time, especially when they're going out into practicum. I'll warn them, like, you are going to hear lots and lots of awful,
everything.
awful, toxic stuff.
everything?
Everyone's going to hate the system. Everyone's going to hate, everything.
Yep.
And wonder why they're teaching. And I always say, like, I know toxic positivity, is that what it's called, is
Yeah,
also a
there's
thing.
a-
So
yeah.
I'm conscious of that. Like,
Yeah.
I want to honor people's negative experiences too.
Well,
Obviously,
there's
it's
space and grace.
space and grace.
Yeah.
But I always say, like, you get to decide, to circle it back, how you're going to be in the world.
How you respond.
So are you going to get caught up in that? Again, honoring those experiences, you're
Yeah.
going to have them too.
Yes,
But
we all
that
have the
doesn't have
negative
to
stuff.
define who you are.
Right, and be remembered.
Right? Like, what are you doing this job for?
And you're hitting on what we've talked about here at the Joy and Resilience practice. I'd rather people be kind than nice.
Yes.
Right? Like, let's practice kindness. Nice seems to be that one level. It's that
surface.
If I was walking past you in the hallway somewhere, you and I would probably say, "How are you?" And you could probably say, "Mike, I really got to get to the photocopier," and I wouldn't be offended because I understand you got to get to the photocopier because if you don't get there, you won't have it. But there's those things we've learned, social conventions of how you doing, but really how you doing is just an acknowledgement as opposed to Michelle, how you doing?
Yeah.
You would tell me like, Mike, like here's how it is. You don't do that for everybody, but I would still go back to the idea of kindness and space and grace. Everyone's going to screw up.
Yeah.
We talked about communication. How many times do we miscommunicate?
Yeah.
On a variety of things. And the thing sitting in front of me here, that is so easy on a text
100%.
to miscommunicate what's happening. Right? Because like, oh my God, people are trained like, got to respond right away. I'm like, no, that's not what I do. I have a friend. She's a teacher as well. She's in Edmonton. We have a code, kind of like you, Mike, and I. If I send Pa to Shaw, like we got a chat or there's something up or something funny, I send a pair of pants. And I talked to her the other day about this. I said, where did the pair of pants come from? Why did we use pants as the code? Well, the pants literally was, I had written her and she said, just give me a second. I need to get my pants on. It's 3 hours difference, right? It could be mid-morning, like
That's
6 in the
right.
morning and it's 9 for me. So now the code is a pair of pants we need to talk. It doesn't mean it's bad or good, but then
Put your pants on. We have to talk.
Right, get ready. It's basically get ready. And she said, well, Mike, we could make it if you have 5 pairs of pants, it's something super exciting, or, if it's 2 pairs of pants, it's not good news. Anyway, the whole idea is a form of communication, and we don't talk every day.
Yep.
But when we do get together and talk on the phone or FaceTime, like you and I or Mike and I and whatever, it can be 2 hours and we just pick up where we left off. So I'd rather people
Absolutely.
practice the kindness piece. And that's what you're speaking to, I would say.
And again, it goes back to how you want to be in the world. I was thinking about this on the way up. Last summer when we got together.
Yes.
And I'm walking down Spring Garden Road, and I'm a little late because I'm parking and all the things.
Yes.
And I'm walking behind these 2 women, and they're speaking, I think, French. And I'm admiring her outfit. I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks so cool.
Yes.
And I got by her
I
because
think I
and I
remember
turned
this.
around and I said, "Your outfit is so cool."
Yeah.
And she gave me this blank smile, and I could tell she didn't speak English.
Oh,
Because I remember saying to you, she looks just like Stevie Nicks.
oh, right. So I was going to say, is that the Stevie Nicks person?
But I hope she at least understood the energy.
Yeah, that you were
why
smiling.
why do people hold back? Like,
Right.
tell someone they're
Might
amazing.
as well. You might not run into them again, but you can make their day. Yeah, it's great. So I've got a question before I do a reflection, because you've touched on this too. So I think you've kind of defined this. What legacy do you hope to leave, Michelle? You've talked about that. Is it around kindness? Is there the connection?
Yeah.
How would you put any other spin on that or add to it?
Yeah. I mean,
Not that you're going anywhere.
no, but these are things we think about for
Yeah.
sure. Like, how are people going to remember me someday?
Yes.
And that is what I would hope, is that they would know that I am genuinely kind. Because why wouldn't you be?
Right.
Why
Yes.
do you want to live in that space where everything is divided and angry? This is where we are socially
And competitive.
politically,
Yes.
culturally right
Yes.
now. Like, why? Why?
Yeah,
Again,
here.
not to dismiss all those experiences. People have lots of struggles.
Yes, lots of struggles.
But you get to decide how you're going to do that. To bring it back to the school system, like it's awful. There's awful
There's a
stuff
lot,
going on in the
yes.
system. There's so much that we have to wear and do,
Difficulties and
task
struggles.
after task, and increasing challenges with kids and all the things. But I get to decide how I'm going to maneuver that.
Mm-hmm.
And I say to my students at the Mount, you only need to know what you're doing tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to wear it all today.
Figure everything out.
You don't have to figure it all out.
Well,
You
we
just-
know from that profession, you can have a plan of what your day is going to look like. It's not going to look like that.
That's right.
You just
And
know.
it's okay, and it doesn't matter.
You just know.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to work through it.
I had this ECM class one time. My friend Nancy and I were teaching English communications one year. It's challenging classes.
Yes.
But oh my God, I loved these kids.
Yeah.
They're so wild. They did not want to be there. In fact, Nancy had to ban 2 words in her classroom.
Oh, God.
burnout and barbecue. They used to have barbecues on the back of their trucks or
Oh,
something.
wow, okay.
Yeah, and burnouts out in the parking lot.
Oh, burnouts
She's like,
that way,
okay, we are now no longer allowed to talk about these
No
two
B
things.
words.
Anyway, it was really, really challenging trying to
Yeah.
get these kids through. And they were used to failing. And I
Of
would say,
course.
no way, that's not happening in here.
Yeah.
So anyway, we muddled through. It was great fun. I remember at the end of the day, and they were always clamoring to get out, and I was on the ground floor at that time. And they're all wanting to jump out the windows and get into their cars. I'm like, oh my
Literally
God,
get
you
out the
guys, you
windows.
can't jump out the windows. It gets me in trouble because then kids are out there running around doing burnouts, and they're like, what class are you coming
Yeah, what
from?
class you coming?
Anyway, there was one particular kid, and he put up the window, and he's like, Miss, I promise, I'm just going to go straight to my car.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to, if anyone asks, I'm not coming from your class. Please, just this once, let
Just
me
this
out.
once?
I'm like, okay, fine. So he climbed out, and he's got one leg out the window,
Oh,
and he
no.
turns around. He says, Miss, you're the best teacher ever. And I tell that to my students
Yes.
because in his mind, that's the definition
Of what
of
the
the
teacher-
best teacher,
Right.
which had
nothing to do with your
with-
plan or the
Yes.
book or anything else.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
That's
the
what
connection
matters
you're
to
giving
me.
them. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do a little reflection, and I want to move into the 7 questions. I'm very
Fantastic.
curious to see your answer to a couple of these.
Okay.
So maybe resilience isn't about becoming fearless. Maybe resilience is choosing courage again and again. Carry joy, carry gratitude, carry compassion, carry curiosity, carry hope, carry your story, and keep moving forward. One conversation, one relationship, one choice, one day at a time, which you mentioned. So, Michelle, you're going to be the closing 7 questions of the season. So here's the ones that
Ooh,
we
the
ground
pressure.
every episode in. You ready?
Yep.
Here's question 1. What's one small moment of joy that's been grounding you lately? And you've mentioned a bunch already.
Yeah, I think it's what I was talking about. Reading my books.
Reading the book. That's what I was picturing.
You have
instead.
no idea what reading does for me.
What's the book?
Oh my goodness, I'm on my 27th book this year.
Oh my God.
I ran into a woman at the gym today who's on her
Yes.
40th book, so
Oh my God.
don't be applauding 27 apparently. I'm reading Patti Smith's latest memoir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but again, it's like there's nothing like getting yourself inside a book. And then when you put the book down and go on with your life, that story and those
Yes.
characters are still rattling around in your head.
And it sounds like you can't wait to get back to it the next
Yes.
time. Yes.
Yes. And so it's first thing in the morning with
Start
my
your day.
coffee.
Oh, that
No, Terry's
And you said
still
you're
in
sitting
bed.
outside?
No, I'm sitting inside.
You're inside, okay.
Yeah, I do spend a lot of
Alternate.
time outside, but in the morning I'm on my couch with my dog beside me.
Oh, the dogs.
my
Yeah.
coffee.
Oh my God.
Reading my book.
Okay, that's awesome. Question 2. When you think of resilience, what's a moment you're really proud of, Michelle?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I was thinking about this. I had my son really young. I think you know. I had him when I was in high school.
Right.
And it was tough, but it's the thing that taught me resilience. I was
Wow.
still really a kid at the time too,
Yeah,
raising a
true.
kid, and I had lots of support from my family.
And was that the 80s?
Sorry?
Was it the 80s?
Yeah.
It was the 80s too.
Yeah. Yeah.
The great big decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I kept going. Like I was really good in school and I
Mm-hmm.
kept going to school. I went straight to university and I have several university degrees.
Yeah.
I did my English degree and then I did my teaching degree and then I went back to school and picked up on my soc minor and did a honors and a master's in
Right.
sociology. But in my honors
That's
year, I
resilience.
did a thesis. I did a study on single parenthood.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I interviewed a lot of single parents, single moms. I was
Interesting.
focusing on women. And when I got all my information, I was starting to write it. I found myself falling into this narrative of, oh, it's so hard, it's so dark, and there's no support, and
Yes.
it's such a struggle. And while that may be true, in speaking to, some of my colleagues and my advisor,
Others, yes.
I had this moment where I thought, what am I writing about that for? Because that's not really my experience. Yes, all those things are true.
Lots of struggle, though, yes.
But I completely flipped the narrative on my
Reframing
thesis
it.
and wrote about how single parenthood isn't deficient. It's just an alternate kind of family.
Yeah, so you were describing resilience in a different way.
Absolutely. And so
my
that's
God.
carried me through.
But-
And, I'm proud of the things that I was able to accomplish and
Well,
my
that's-
career and my life and
And the way you've passed that on to others, I think, too.
yeah, just the way I carry myself, I think.
Thanks for
Hopefully.
sharing that.
Sure.
Okay, question 3. I think I know what you're going to... No, I'm not going to assume. What helps you recharge when your capacity feels low? And I mean, after 8 episodes, have you finally started to take your own advice, which I think you have?
Yeah.
Or are we all still works in progress? I definitely know I am.
Oh my gosh, we all are. I mean, isn't that what being human is?
Yeah.
And I don't have all the answers. And I'm probably going to say the answer that you're expecting. And I talk about this again with my Mount students is being a teacher is one part of who you are. It's really important to figure out the other things that you are
parts.
too
Yeah.
and find some balance in your life.
Yes.
And for me, it was going to the gym.
Yep. And having some boundaries that lead into your other parts.
Yes. And I made really, really, really good use of my time during the school year, or during the school day, rather.
Yeah.
And every moment I had a chance, I would get my work done so that at the end of the day,
free
I
yourself
could
up.
walk away
Yeah.
and go walk my dogs or go to the gym or whatever it is
Do
I
you
wanted
think that
to
helps
do.
sustain your career, too?
100,000,000%.
Yeah.
You
That would
can't
be-
do it without some sort of balance. I had this conversation this morning with an instructor friend of mine. I was telling her I was coming to do this. She does some work around wellness as well. And I told her I was going to reference this conversation.
Yes,
It's coming up right now. She's sort of transitioning into doing fitness full time, which
Okay.
is kind of unheard of because
Right.
it's crazy hard.
Tough, yeah.
So she was talking about all her classes that she does, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't know how you do this. And she said, I was thinking, she said, as she was kind of doing this transition and sort of navigating it all and figuring out what her life was going to look like, she feels really guilty. She's also a single mom.
Yes.
About, she feels like she made her son her second choice for a while. And I said, oh my gosh, that mom guilt is so real.
That's the guilt, yes.
So real. But we do the best we can.
Right, with what
That's
you know
how
at
we
the time.
build our resilience. And having this conversation means that you're a reflective person. And I mean, my kid is now over 40, and I still have
my
that.
God, he's over 40?
I know, isn't that crazy?
What? This is over 40.
And I still carry that mom guilt.
Yeah.
So I think it's just about like finding that balance.
Yeah.
That's that was kind of what she got out of our conversation, was about that need for balance.
Right. And maybe to look at it as like you just described. I learned from that.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I don't think there was a handbook for you.
No.
You had to do with what you had and what you knew.
You do the best you can.
You do the best you can.
That's all we can ask for.
Okay, I don't know what you're going to say for this one, so I'm interested to hear this one. Who has inspired your resilience?
Oh, who has inspired my resilience? Okay, this might sound really cheesy, and I don't mean for it to be, and I'm sincere when I say this. It's the kids that I've taught and the kids that not kids, they're adults, the people that I continue to teach right now.
Yeah.
Because you hear this narrative about, and it happens with every generation, like, oh, those young people.
Yes, it does.
Right?
It does.
And I always said when that conversation comes up, I teach kids.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't believe how awesome they are. Like, you would realize how we're actually in good hands.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
Yep.
They're amazing.
Yeah, there's lots of talent,
Yeah.
and people discount it because
Yeah.
they don't think of all the experience. But
Yeah. And they inspire me because they, we get older and we get tired and start to transition into different roles, and you realize, especially seeing these young teachers going
Yes.
into the classroom for the first time, and they're nervous and excited, and It's so exciting to watch.
Yeah. And I think you're touching on too that it's okay, because I did the same thing at a certain point, like on all committees and all the thing. And at a certain point, I'm like, no, I think I don't want to do that committee anymore. I don't want to do that play.
You want to make space for something else.
Yeah, I want to try something else or do on a different role sort of thing. So I
or
think
maybe you
that's
need rest.
Or rest and restore.
Yep.
Okay, question 5, Michelle. What's one lesson you'll carry forward?
This has kind of been my mantra in at least the second part of my adult life, that we create our own reality. That you're in charge, you create your own reality.
Your response.
And we all know people who kind of get stuck in the misery of it all. We all know these people, like people who are defined by their, losses, or defined by their struggles, or defined by their injuries, or defined, right?
Only, yeah.
Yeah. And it makes me sad, because I keep thinking, like, if you strip all that away, do you even know who you are?
I bet they don't.
Again, we keep circling back, like, how do you want to be in the world?
How do you want to be? Yes. So I think this leads right into the next question. I don't know how you had this ready. Number 6, how do you hope to leave the world a little better? I think you've touched on this a bit, but do you want to shine that up a little, or is there some premise you would...
I mean, I always still come back to teaching, which also mirrors being a mom. Like, I've talked a lot about teaching. So just to come back to that mom piece, like, my son is brilliant. You've met him before.
Yes,
it's been a long time.
It's been a while now.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, he's so brilliant and so joyful and so interesting and smart. And growing up, his teachers used to say, he's the kindest person.
Oh, okay.
He always goes around and helps all of the kids in the class.
Awesome.
And he's really humble about it. He never talks about,
Right.
his...
He just helps.
Because he's done some pretty amazing things.
Yes.
Like, he's been a signed musician. He's toured Europe and this, like, all the things.
I've seen some of the pictures on Facebook.
I know,
I'm like, what's he up to now?
Yeah. He's
In a good way.
Yeah.
All in good
Amazing
ways.
artist, but very, very humble. Probably that's something he needs to work on. Like, come on, like...
Advocate a little.
I'll advocate a little. Show a little. It's okay. You're awesome, and you can acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of that. And
Yeah. So that's leaving the world a better place.
Yeah.
The next generation.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the final question of the season.
Okay.
So I'm interested to hear what you're going to say. If you could tell your younger self one thing about living well, what would it be, Michelle? What would you have told your younger self?
Find some balance in your life.
Find balance
Don't define yourself by your job
by your job.
as
Yep.
much as you may love it.
Yep.
Figure out who you are. It's a lifelong journey,
Certainly is.
and honor it and listen.
And listen. Right
And-
back at the beginning.
I know.
Listen, yeah.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah. And, we do get so caught up in all the things, being like, ask any teacher how they are. What's their answer going to be? Oh, busy. I'm really busy.
Busy. I know that's a thing, isn't it? Everyone.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah. And that's true. Absolutely true.
True.
Again, to honor people's experiences, that's true. But is that defining who you are? What else can you be?
And which emotion is busy?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
emotion
it's
is
not
it?
one.
Right. It's
That's
not
the
one.
point.
Right? Yeah, exactly. You've hit right on it.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle. I want to thank you for being here.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
gonna
you're so
thank
welcome.
Alex. Those questions continue to remind us that resilience isn't a destination, it's a practice. And Michelle, you've talked about that a lot, which is fantastic. I know we could probably talk for another hour. You're coming back on another season, just to let you know.
Sign me up.
Here's the final reflection. If you've been with us throughout the season, thank you. Thank you for listening, for reflecting, for slowing down, for being willing to have these conversations, which, Michelle, I always enjoy our conversations. I hope you've discovered that resilience isn't about having all the answers. It's about continuing to ask meaningful questions. It's about making space for joy, protecting your capacity, caring for your community, learning through grief, receiving nourishment, embracing change, and choosing hope, one day at a time. So wherever life finds you today, I hope you'll carry one thing with you. You don't have to do this alone. Stay curious, stay compassionate, stay rooted in joy, and keep rising in resilience. This is the Joy and Resilience practice, helping you thrive one story at a time. Thank you for being part of Season 2. If today's episode resonated with you, there are 3 simple ways to continue the journey. Join the Drops of Resilience newsletter for weekly encouragement at www.joyandresilience.com. Book a Resilience Reset coaching session if you're ready to invest in your own well-being. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, share this episode with them. We're on Spotify and YouTube. Together, we can help more people stay rooted in joy and keep rising in resilience. Remember, resilience isn't something we achieve once. It's something we practice every day. Thanks for practicing with us, and we'll see you next season.